Good morning, Quadcopter 101 here, and today's shout out goes to Timon Martin. Timon was first to say first in one of my recent videos, and thus wins this shout out, so congratulations. Good morning, Quadcopter 101 here with a review of the new Eachine EX5. What is the EX5? Look at this little thing. Well, looking at this little thing, you can see right away what they're going for here. It's a folding drone, but what about this folding drone? Well, it is another clone of the Mavic Mini. That's the intent here, folks. Say you're going to get yourself a low-cost Mavic Mini for around the $100 price range. Now, with that $100 price range, do not expect the same performance or even similar performance to a Mavic Mini. Okay, you're just not going to get that. What this is, folks, is a low-cost beginner's drone to go out and learn to practice to fly with. It is a GPS drone, so it has that. It also has brushless motors. So there are some good things about this drone, but do not expect Mavic Mini performance. Even though this is being advertised with 4K, do not expect excellent 4K video, because you're not going to get that with this, and I'll explain that here shortly. Okay, first of all, as with the Mavic Mini, this is under 250 grams, okay? This does not require registration in most countries because of that, folks. It's just, it's below that 250 gram limit that most countries seem to have, where if you go above that, you need to register your drone. This does not require registration in most countries. Now, I mentioned it has GPS. It does have GPS GLONASS, which means it both uses the United States and the Russian satellite network for very accurate positioning. Now, I've done some initial flights with this in my backyard, and yes, this thing is very, very steady in hover. I'm actually impressed with this little drone for how well it can actually hover without moving. On top of that, it has an optical flow sensor in the belly here. This little optical flow sensor is another camera that looks down at the ground beneath the drone and uses that camera to help maintain position and hover, so that you can actually fly this indoors if you wish, where you won't be able to receive GPS satellite signals, but you will be able to still use that optical sensor to do automatic hovering indoors. Now, I mentioned it has brushless motors. That's a big advantage of this little drone, in that these brushless motors should require minimal maintenance. I wouldn't expect these to burn out, such as you would see with a brush motor drone. It also comes with these, at least I got the 2 battery version, 7.4 volt, 2200 milliamp hour batteries that actually look very similar to the DJI style batteries. With these batteries, it's predicted to give this drone approximately 30 minutes of flight time. Well, we'll find out if that's true or not, but since this drone is relatively lightweight and under 250 grams, it just actually might be accurate. We'll see when we go flying. Now, it also uses, let's go into this here, it has either an option of getting 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi or 802.11 AC 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi. What's the difference between the two? Well, the 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi will give you FPV ranges, are saying out to 200 meters. I believe that's probably more accurately control ranges, because they're also saying the 802.11 AC Wi-Fi will give you FPV ranges out to 1,000 meters. And I have yet to see a drone that uses 802.11 AC Wi-Fi without using a repeater. This does not have a repeater that will get actually 1,000 meters. So that might be control range. We'll find out when we go fly this also. Now, I did mention the 802.11 AC Wi-Fi. Not everybody has 802.11 AC Wi-Fi on their phone, so that might automatically limit you to the 2.4 gigahertz. Before considering purchase of this drone, first verify that your phone indeed has 802.11 AC Wi-Fi if you do want that 1,000 meter version, or else you may be sorely disappointed, because your phone will not be able to see the Wi-Fi signal from this drone, and as such, you will not be able to use the app for the drone for FPV video and for the advanced features of the drone, which is Circle Me, Follow Me, and Waypoints. And let me mention that right now. This uses the Eachine Pro app, available in Google Play and iTunes, for that FPV, and also gives you the option of Follow Me and Waypoints, plus also circle position or orbit position, which is, by the way, you can also use this controller to use the circle position in case you don't want to use the app. Now, let's talk about cons of this drone, and there are quite a few cons. I mentioned the 802.11 AC Wi-Fi that you need to verify first, but another thing is this drone's camera, this is not a stabilized gimbal, folks, on this camera. There is no 2-axis or even 3-axis or even 1-axis stabilization. Okay, the only thing this gimbal here is it enables you to remotely position the camera lens up or down. Okay, there is no stabilization with this gimbal. On top of that, if you look around, there is no SD card on this SD card slot. Normally there'd be an SD card slot right there, but that's empty. What does that mean, folks? That means that your video is recorded directly to your phone via Wi-Fi. Why is that a problem? Well, since it's recording via Wi-Fi, expect a lot of frame dropping, a lot of frozen frames. There's issues with doing Wi-Fi transmission of video signals. It's not going to be smooth. It's not going to be crisp video. And let me mention another thing about this. This is advertised with a 4K camera. Okay, and yes, this indeed does record to your phone both 4K video at 20 frames per second and 4K photos, frame grabs of the video. But the sensor on this drone is not a 4K sensor. Do not expect a 4K sensor on a $100 drone, folks. That's just being unrealistic. In actuality, it's either 720p or probably for the 2.4 gigahertz version, and probably maybe 1080p for the 802.11 AC version. But since this is being transmitted to your phone and they advertise 4K, what it does is it transmits that video signal, that lower resolution video signal, to your phone, and then it uses your phone's processor to electronically enlarge that image, stretch it to your end for recording onto your phone, recording 4K video onto your phone and 4K photos. Okay, what that does, folks, is do not expect crisp looking 4K video. It's still going to be 1080p or 720p, whichever sensor is on this, that has just been electronically stretched. It's not going to improve the image quality in any way. So do not expect 4K type of video from this phone or from this drone. Now, another thing, since it's using your processor, your phone's processor, to electronically interpolate, enlarge that video, the Eachine Pro app requires a phone with a higher end processor. Now the Eachine Pro app works great with most Androids, okay? Or not Androids, with most Apple phones, iPhones. However, when you start to use Android phones, and a lot of them are lower end phones, mine are mid-end phones, expect to have issues with Android phones is what I'm saying. Unless you have a top of the line Android, you may not be able to record video, and I was not able to record video with any of my Android phones, and I got quite a few of them because the processor was not able to keep up with the speed of the video in order to interpolate that video, enlarge it, and then store it on my phone. Okay, it just wasn't fast enough. And with that in mind, I talked to Banggood, and they told me that if you want to use an Android phone, you are going to need an Android with a processor of a minimum of Snapdragon 660 or a Helio P60 or a Kirin 710 from Hawaii or a Samsung Exynos 8890 processor or above if you want to record with Android. Now, most people do not have those type of processors unless you got. Okay, so if you do have an Android, you might want to see either if you can borrow somebody's Apple phone, which I am going to have to do, unfortunately, or go out and purchase a high-end phone to use this drone. And I don't think most people that use Androids are going to go out and purchase a better phone just so that they can use a $100 drone that's going to interpolate lower resolution video. So you see that this is not the best idea in the world, folks, for them to be doing that. But it is a selling point, and that's a lot of these cheaper or lower end drones use that selling point. They claim 4K video, but it's not. It's interpolated. So, Okay, let's skip that now and go on to the controller itself. Let's go over the controller. This is the controller for the drone. The buttons on it are all well labeled. You can take a photo by pressing this button here and record it to your phone. You can start and stop video by pressing this button here. This button here is for activating the compass calibration before your flight, and I'll show how to do the compass calibration when we go out in the field. This will raise the gimbal up, the gimbal lens up, and this will lower the lens down by pressing this button here. You can enter into headless mode for doing those crane shots that I've shown you in previous videos by pressing this button here. And it also has automatic takeoff, and by pressing that button here, I believe this is automatic landing too. We'll find out when we go flying. But before you use that, you have to start the motors by bringing both sticks down and holding them outward like so. And that will put the motors into idle, and then press that automatic takeoff button for the drone to take off. And finally, or not finally, we have a return to home button right here. You press that, and the drone will return home and land where it took off from. This button here is for the rates. You can adjust the rates of the drone by pressing this button here. And what I mean rates is the speed of the drone. It has 3 different speeds, low, medium, and high, which you activate by pressing that. You'll hear beep, 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 and a beep, beep, beep. Tell you you're in high rate. And also I mentioned as before that you can put this in orbit mode or circle position by pressing this button here. And these antennas are fake. Okay, I do not see any wires going up inside these antennas, so that again makes me doubt that this really does have 1,000 meter, well, even 1,000 meter control range or FPV range. We'll see when we go flying how well that FPV video is. And finally, this uses 3 AAA batteries that you put in the back there. And let's see, what else? Oh, the phone holder. Where is the phone holder on this? Oh, right here. And type of phone holder it's got, I don't like these type of phone holders because when I use my Android phones, it always, no matter if I put them upside down or the other way around, it always seems to hit the control buttons on my Android phone and shuts my phone off. But this is your phone holder for this particular controller. So I think I've covered most of the points of this drone. Other than I forgot to mention the instruction manuals. These are the instruction manuals. They're multi-language, many different languages. I'm sure your country's language is in here. But the problem with these little manuals are they are postage stamp size. I have to actually use a magnifying glass to read it with my old eyes, so keep that in mind. But this also comes with this nice little quick start device or card that goes over your controller when it comes out of the box, and it goes over each one of the buttons very well, along with how to get the drone in the air, especially doing the compass calibration and the gyro calibration, and how the drone looks for satellites. So that's about it. Let's take the EX5 out into the field and give it a flight demonstration and see how it flies. So hope you enjoy this flight. Good morning, Quadcopter 101 on a slightly breezy day. Well, we got a breeze about 7 miles per hour today, coming from the lake, from Lake Erie. But let's do this review flight of the Eachine EX5. Okay, to start up the EX5, you got to press this on-off switch right there and hold it down until you hear the chirps of the ESCs. And you put the drone on the ground from your takeoff point. And then we're going to turn on the controller. And that beep beep means we should be connected. Let's do a quick check here. Okay, right now I got to do the compass calibration. Now the back lights are flashing red with a slow flash red. If you can see that, red. Okay, we got to put it in compass calibration mode. And to do that, you got to press this button here. And the lights now should be blinking rapidly. Or slowly, even more slowly. Blink, blink, blink. So what we need to do is 3 rotations horizontally like so until we hear a beep. Oh, okay, we heard the beep. And then nose up, do another 3 rotations till we hear a second beep. Second beep. And now we're back to blink, blink. And right now it is looking for satellites. That'll go solid once we have sufficient satellites. So while it's looking for satellites, folks, I am going to take my iPhone, put it in here, and connect the iPhone's, there, you hear that beep? That has sufficient satellites and it's ready to fly. But I'm going to connect my iPhone's Wi-Fi to the drone's Wi-Fi signal. Okay, so hold on, folks, and then we'll open the app and start flying. Okay, this is the Eachine Pro app available on Google Play and iTunes, and it's right now. As soon as you connect, as soon as you connect to this thing, it's going to ask if you've done the calibration, and you want to do it and say yes once you've done it. That's it. Okay, so and we have GPS signal is normal. We are ready to take off. Okay, with that in mind, I am going to start the motors by down and out, and then I am going to hit the automatic takeoff button. And I'm just going to stand here. I want to check stability. Now keep in mind I do have wind, quite a bit of wind, but it seems to be working. Let's rotate it. It's actually nice and stable, even with this wind. Okay, I'm in the image. Let me lower that camera gimbal just a little bit and go up a little bit higher. Maybe bring it up just a tad too. Okay, a little bit higher. I'm in the image. Now I'm going to start the video camera by pressing the video camera button. So we are recording now. We should be recording. How do you like my shirt today, folks? It's a California shirt here in Pennsylvania. Let's raise the camera back up again now. Up higher. And right now, let's take it for a flight. And we are going to go out to the corner of the field. Wow, this thing's fast for beginner rate. Let me take the camera up a little bit higher. And actually I want to put my glasses on too so I can see the drone out in the distance there. I like to keep sight of the drone and pushing forward, going up and out. And I'm going to go just above the tree line as I go outward. And away it goes. Okay, we are, how far out are we? Okay, I'm looking for the range on this thing. Now, the lettering on this is really tiny, but we are 492 feet out, pushing forward and going up even higher. I want to go above that tree line in the distance there, so I don't bump into those trees. And we are 553 feet out. And 600 feet out. So about 200 meters I'm at right now. And the signal was actually pretty good for 200 meters. I'm going to rotate, point it back toward my direction here. And see how it's tilted, folks? It's crabbing into the wind because of the wind. Let's go up a bit higher until we do see Lake Erie off in the distance. So raising the elevation up, going up higher, and we're about 200 feet up, 226 feet up, and there's Lake Erie. Now from that position there, let's do a return to home, automatic return to home by pressing return to home button. Return to home button is activated and it's coming back. Well, there it is way up there. Pretty darn high. I shouldn't have gone that high, but because it's going to take a while to get back down here from 200 feet up. Little tiny thing way up there. Well, let's see how accurate the return to home and landing is. There's Lake Erie again. Now I put an X on the ground where it took off from. I'm looking for that right now. Where is that X? Yeah. Well, we'll just see how close it comes to an X. But it's descending. It should be descending right now. Altitude 185 to 82. It's descending. Number is decreasing. So it is coming down. So when you do these automatic return homes, don't be at too high of an altitude because it could take a while to come back down again. So yeah, the Wi-Fi video was very good and strong, even out to that distance there. So yeah, the Wi-Fi on this is pretty good. The GPS on this is pretty good. So all in all, so far, everything seems good. I hope the recording is coming out. And there it is, coming down for the final port. But it did not land on my X. I'm still looking for my X. Oh, there it is. There's my X. So about 1 meter away from the X. So, okay, let me double check my camera. So we're good to go there. Next thing I want to do is demonstrate let's point it this way again. Let's go back to the X. And let me stop that video that I'm recording, because I don't want to fill up the memory of this phone too much. iPhone storage full. You can free up, see? That's one of the issues here, folks, is this particular drone uses quite a bit of memory to record that 4K video. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch back to my Android phone, and I'm just going to do screen recording of the video. I'm hoping that video did record while it was flying there. I'm going to double check before that. But I'm going to switch to the Android phone now and put this iPhone away. So hold on, folks. Okay, I just did a flight with an iPhone 6, and I ran out of storage space recording that 4K video. Okay, so I've switched to my Android. Unfortunately, with my Android, I'm only going to be able to record the screenshots as shown here for this flight. But that should be sufficient to show you what this can do. You'll still be able to see its video, but it won't be that interpolated 4K video, and it's not going to look that great anyways, interpolated 4K. But again, let's start the motors and take to the air by hitting the automatic takeoff button. Okay, check the stability again, going up a bit higher, turning toward my position. Now I gotta say, the stability on this little drone is very good. Okay, I am surprised how well it's holding its position. It's really kind of gusty wind here today, but you're gonna see a lot of moving around because of that gusty wind, unfortunately. Just to see if this is going to record. Let's see if I can get a photo by pressing the photo button. And let's try the photo button here, just to see if it actually records the 4K photo. I heard a click there. One more. How do you like my shirt, by the way, today, folks? Okay, that's enough photos. And let's try this video recording again. Now on my, it's not recording on my screen. Let's try it again. Let's press the record button there. Okay, it says the phone does not support 4K video, so I'm going to stop right there. Again, it does not record if your phone does not have enough processor power to interpolate that video, unfortunately. But again, let's just go back out again, do another distance test, just in case the video did not come out right from the last flight. This time I'm going to stay low, going up a bit higher, not too high, but I'm going to go to the edge of the field again, like I did with the iPhone, and I'm just going to keep setting it up higher so I can see the drone off in the distance. Should be getting close to the baseball diamond over there. There's 3 baseball diamonds here at this sport field. I like these sport fields. They're great places to fly. But right there, I lost signal, folks. Let's go up a bit higher, see if I can regain signal. But no, So from there, we're going to do another return to home, like we did the last flight. Sending it up. It actually climbs for the return to home. What altitude does it say? Do not operate other functions while returning. Well, we're about 20 feet up for this return home. Let's see if it regains Wi-Fi on this return flight. So with my Android phone, the return to home was not the FPV video was not as smooth or not as distant as I got with the little iPhone 6 that I was using. Okay, let's see how accurate its landing is, though. And then I'm going to reconnect the Wi-Fi. If it doesn't automatically reconnect, it doesn't appear to. And we'll try again. Although this time we'll stay a little bit closer and try the advanced features of this drone. And again, it's about a meter and a half off from its original takeoff point. But let's put it back on its original takeoff point and reconnect the app. So hold on, folks. Okay, I've reconnected the app to the phone. All I did was rebooted the app and it reconnected. So let's start the motors again. And automatic takeoff, which would be that button there. Going up. And let's go right up to about here. And from there, I'm going to go over here because we're going to try that follow me of this particular drone. Point it toward me. Okay, what's my distance? That should be good enough. In the upper left corner, we see that drone picture. We're going to select that, and then we're going to select follow. And follow is activated. Let's do it. Let's go up a bit higher too. So let's see if it'll follow me around. It appears to be. What type of follow me do we got, by the way? Is it DJI? It appears to be DJI, like I'm pulling it on a string, in effect. So it's doing it. Follow me's are always interesting. People like them. Let me go down. Oh, no, I want the camera up. So follow me's working. So that's cool in itself. Let's come out of that. Selecting follow me, turning it off. Now let's go up a bit. Bring it over here a bit. And we're going to select orbit position. Okay, selecting orbit. Oh, you can't do it with the app. Apparently, I guess I need to use this controller to select the orbit. So let's do it. Pressing orbit. And it goes over there. See what it does. Wind's picking up a bit. Is it going to turn and point to my position or what? Turn, yep, it's pointing to my position. And then you got to tell which way to go. Let's go to the right. And there it goes. Appears to go counterclockwise. I'm just checking to see if there's anything in the way, but it's doing a nice orbit around my position. Nice slow orbit. Now I'm pretty sure you can adjust these in the upper right corner there. That gear settings icon, if you want to go do a faster orbit, or let's see if we can do that. And it appears to do one orbit, and then it slows down and stops. Why is that? Can I pick up speed with that by holding the? Oh yeah, you can pick up speed of the orbit by holding the right yaw stick or roll stick, and there we go. Now it's really moving. A real fast orbit. Can we adjust it and pull it back? Make it go? No. Push. Oh yeah, there we go. Pushing it outbound. Make it a big circle. Bigger circle. Going up a bit higher. And adjusting the speed even more. It's going around real fast now. Circle B. Okay, let's press circle B and see if that stops it. Yes, it does. Okay, bring it in and down. Next thing we want to do is waypoints, but before we do that, let's go into the settings icon like I told you and go to parameters. And default height of waypoints, 65 feet is a bit high for me. I want to bring it down to about, let's say about 25 feet. That'd be good enough for this field here. And maximum height of waypoint, 164. Speed of waypoint, 16. We'll leave all that other stuff default. Then come out of the parameters. And then go to map. And hopefully it'll find us here. I'm in map mode, but it doesn't seem to find us here. Let's go to waypoint. Now I'm in waypoint mode, but I'm not seeing us on the map. In fact, I think we're showing Lake Erie, in effect. I'm trying to zoom out. Okay. So, as it's not showing, I probably should have downloaded the data before coming out here, because it doesn't seem to be able, with the Android version of the app, to simultaneously use data network and connect to the Wi-Fi of that drone at the same time. So unfortunately, I will not be able to demonstrate follow me. We're going to come out of that then. And we did follow me. Let's try, what can this do in terms of speed? Okay. Now, we're going to select a rate, a higher rate. Oh wait, we haven't done headless mode yet. I like to do headless mode. Okay, I selected headless mode. So that should be back, and this should be forward toward me. And the reason I like to do headless mode, and what I'm going to do at the same time, is I'm going to lower the gimbal a little bit, pointing it at the ground. because what I'm going to do, folks, is push forward now and climb and do an up and away. I like to do crane shots like that. Boy, this thing goes up fast. I mean, it goes up real fast. So let's come out of headless mode now and bring it back down. Let's see does it come down as fast as it goes up? Not apparently no. Apparently not as fast as it goes up. And what do we got here? Low battery. So much for the 30 minutes. So that was a fully charged battery, folks. But it brings itself in. I'm trying to bring it back down again. Is it going to come down on its own? Altitude is 20 meters up. I'm going to try to return to home button. There it comes. It's coming down now. That's unusual. Okay, I thought we'd have more flight time than that. In the flight, I did two flights out to about 200 feet, or 200 meters, I'm sorry, 200 meters. About 600 feet. One with the Apple iPhone and one with the Android. I got a feeling I was not able to record either one of them, mainly because I ran out of storage space on the iPhone, on the little i6 iPhone, and because I don't have fast enough processor on my Android, even though this is a Hilo 70 Pentium, or P70, not Pentium, on my Armor phone. It really should have recorded, because it's one of the ones that supposedly is usable with this drone. But unfortunately, here, let's get the sunlight in my face. Unfortunately, I doubt that I got any video. Well, if I did, we'll include it. But that's how this little EX5 flies. Overall, it's a drone meant for beginner flyers. It is a reasonable, good beginner drone. However, you know, why would you need a high-end phone to record from a low-end drone? Okay, people that would have a high-end phone would normally buy a high-end drone, like a DJI style drone. They'd have the money to do such. So it doesn't really make sense to me that they did not include the ability to record with lower-end Androids, because that's where the market is. So Eachine, if you're listening, highly recommend that you tweak that Eachine Pro app so that it enables you to record without the interpolation to 4K. You know, the original 1080p video that's streaming from this drone. If you can record that, I think you'll have less issues with the Android version of the app. Okay, so that's the Eachine EX5 4K. Hope you enjoyed this flight. This is Quadcopter 101, signing out. Hi, Quadcopter 101 here again. Hey, if you want to get your own shout out in one of my future videos, make sure you subscribe to my channel. It's real simple. Just go to my channel page and click on that subscribe. And also make sure to click that bell button right next to the subscribe button. That way you get notified when I release a brand new video immediately and give you a chance to get that first shout out. So give it a try, folks.